The future is looking very bright for Erik ten Hag. Kobbie Mainoo has Liverpool and Man City scared, and we're going to get into those comments. Why, Pep is jealous. Why Klopp is jealous. Why Liverpool are worried. Why the player is so talented. Bruno Fernandes is sent home from international duty and given a well-deserved break. We're going to speak about how I think disrespected Bruno is. I think he's such an underrated player, in my opinion. But also news, Branthwaite, Bremer, Drewsbury, what's the latest on the transfer front, and a big boost for Erik ten Hag coming in. So please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. We're going to start off with the positives. As always, Cole Palmer is voted the best young player. Yes, I know, fair play to him. But Rasmus Højlund, Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho are all in 3rd, 4th and 5th. And I think as well, the fact that obviously there's 3 United players that they were voting for means the votes are split. If there was only Mainoo in there, maybe he could have beaten out Palmer and got the sort of 21% of votes. Sorry, the 20% of votes on top of this 10% that Højlund and Garnacho got. But why I was saying the future is bright for ten Hag and why it's a real positive is United have got 3 players in these top 10 under 21 players. No other team has 3. We've got Højlund, we've got Mainoo, we've got Garnacho, we've got incredible youth. We've got the under 18s that were unbeaten bar that one game this season, which were absolutely phenomenal. We've got such great talents in the academy coming through. I could name 10 players that could generally be unbelievable players. It's the best our academy's been, and Shea Lacey could be like Mainoo level special if he could stay fit. And I think the future is really positive for United. And you've got to think that Erik ten Hag worked wonders with the Ajax academy, bringing those talents through. He's done well bringing Garnacho and Mainoo through. He's a guy that gets the most out of talents. And the biggest talent right now is Kobbie. Now, I mentioned this in my live stream earlier, so I'm not going to dilly-dally and spend too much time talking about this, but it was said that basically Liverpool members of staff and Liverpool players were actually shocked by how good Kobbie Mainoo was and blown away in that first half of how good this midfielder was when Liverpool played United. There's also reports that Pep Guardiola is very, very jealous of Manchester United having Kobbie Mainoo, and Pep Guardiola even wanted to try and bring Kobbie Mainoo to the Etihad in the summer. He's always rated the guy, but can't believe how good he is, which got me into this idea. And I'm sorry if the quality is going to go. My Wi-Fi's just been awful today. I'm hoping the quality hasn't dropped. But today's video is going to be what do rivals think on Kobbie Mainoo? I'm going to get into news in a second, but this got me thinking, what are rivals saying? What's Ian Wright saying? What's Gary Lineker saying? What have rivals said on Kobbie Mainoo? Because he's got Klopp and Pep going wow. So we're going to go through a few comments that have also been said by other rivals on Mainoo in the punditry world. And then after that, we'll dive more into the news. So Ian Wright said, what a fabulous young player. And Gary Lineker said, I'm impressed every time I watch Kobbie Mainoo match. How is Kobbie Mainoo not in that England squad? How has he not been called up? And there are rumours and reports going about that people rung up Southgate, like staff, people in the football world, even players when they arrived at St George's Park and said you had to call up Mainoo because no one was injured. It's not like anyone got injured and Southgate was like, okay, Mainoo, you can come, someone's injured. No one was injured. Southgate just called up Mainoo. He's never done that before. Even though he said go to the under-21s, and in his press conference, he said, yeah, he's not played enough for the first team. People went up to Southgate and said, you have to play this Mainoo kid. Even people like Tom Garrett, who supports West Brom, I think, said that Kobbie Mainoo is just a top player, isn't he? The way he gets around people, he deserves to be in the England squad. I've seen Sharky of SDS podcast, so many like rival fans of Arsenal, West Brom, Chelsea, even Liverpool fans saying, yeah, Kobbie Mainoo's got to start for England. He's got to be in that England squad. And it's even been said by a Man City player here that Kobbie Mainoo is the first player in a while playing for a rival that I've been jealous of not having. And he's a Man City fan. He's saying he looks like a Pep Guardiola player. And you've got to remember that Manchester City were chasing Kobbie Mainoo. Manchester City had immense amount of interest in Kobbie Mainoo and they tried to sort of persuade him this summer to come in. Pep really wanted Kobbie Mainoo, thought he was a good player there. Man City rate him, and reportedly Pep is actually quite jealous of how good Kobbie Mainoo's been and thinks that is a special top class player. Continuing on though, I don't want to spend too long talking about Kobbie Mainoo or too long talking about rivals, but in terms of Liverpool, Klopp is leaving Liverpool. Apparently, Alonso prefers Bayern, and that's come from Pletibug. It's a good source of information. And Trent could go to Real Madrid, and Salah could leave Liverpool. So, as a United fan, we've got this great future ahead of us of youngsters. I believe that Ineos are going to make some much-needed changes. And Liverpool are losing key people, and Man City might go down with FFP. So maybe I'm feeling a bit more. Going into our next story, we're going to talk about Bruno Fernandes. Now, another statistic on Bruno Fernandes that probably won't surprise you, but Bruno has created the most chances by any player in Europe this season, despite having a poorish season. I mean, I wouldn't say poor, but like he's been there this season. He's not been at his best. He still creates the most chances in an underperforming United side. And it was said by Dan Sheldon that Bruno Fernandes has been sent home early from the Portugal squad, but is not expected to return to Manchester United until after the international break, and they've given him the time off. No outfield player has played more minutes than Bruno Fernandes in the last 4 years of football. He's non-stop. He's played almost every minute for Portugal, every minute for Manchester United. He played brilliant for Portugal yesterday versus Sweden with a goal and assist. Their only friendly games. The Portugal manager said, look, you've played your last few games with an injury. You're playing centre-back for Man United next time with an injury. You've come to Portugal. You've put in the shift. You're such a good player. I don't want to risk you getting injured. Have the week off. And Erik ten Hag said, players that get the week off, players that aren't on the international break, they normally go to Man United and train. And Erik ten Hag said to Bruno, you know what, you can have the week off. And Bruno deserves it. I think Bruno is disrespected by Man United fans. Yes, he's frustrating. Yes, he gives the ball away. Yes, he's not been brilliant this season, but he's still been better than 90% of our squad this season. He still could do things that very, very few players can do. And I think when he leaves, people will appreciate just how good he is. I feel like because he's never been injured and we've never had a period of absence without Bruno, maybe that means that people sort of disrespect him a little bit more and actually don't realise how much he brings to United. I do want to apologise if the quality's dropped this video. I've just had so many issues with lag and the internet today. It's completely winding me up when I'm trying to record. But I do want to get into the transfer news. I don't want to get too much into this, but we have been linked with Dewsbury Hall a couple of times. This isn't the first time we've been linked to him. And Ben Jacobs said that Manchester United have made an initial inquiry to the Leicester midfielder Kieran Dewsbury Hall's entourage. If Leicester are promoted this season, he'll be 40 million if they're not 25 million. I wouldn't spend 40 million on Dewsbury Hall. I like him. I think he's a good player. I think he's a talented player, but I don't think he's what we need. He's more of an 8, and I don't want to spend 40 million on someone that's spent a season in the Championship. No disrespect to the Championship. It was said that Manchester United see Dewsbury Hall as a potential opportunity this summer. £25 million, I'm not completely against it. I think he's a good player. Like, I do rate Dewsbury Hall, but when you look at the midfielders out there, when you look at who we need to sign and what kind of midfielder we need to sign, Dewsbury Hall is not the profile we need. We signed Mount last season, number 8. We need to be signing a 6. We need to stop this obsession with signing midfielders that are profiles that we don't need at the club. Continuing on, what we don't need is definitely Gareth Southgate. We don't need Southgate. And it was said that Gareth Southgate is not currently the number 1 choice to be the next Manchester United manager, and that no decision has been made on the future of Ten Hag by Ben Jacobs, which is good, which is also true. All this Southgate stuff, I've done so many videos on it. I don't want to get into it. It's just basically spin, spin, spin. Let's create negativity. Let's create interactions. Let's create clicks, because it's the international break. Ineos, they like Southgate for sure. He's got a good relationship with Brailsford. He's got a good relationship with Dan Ashworth, but they don't have any interest in bringing him to United. Basically, media have just seen that he's got a good relationship with Brailsford because he's worked with Brailsford. He's worked with Ashworth. Mac British and he likes him. Media's just gone, these 3 things. Clearly, they want Southgate, bish, bash, bosh, create this narrative. Ineos aren't interested in bringing Gareth Southgate in. They're not. They like the guy, but he's not a managerial candidate to replace Ten Hag. The managerial candidates would be Amorim of Sporting, Potter and De Zerbi, not Southgate. It was also said that Man United say no decision has been made over a managerial change, and the club are planning for next season with Ten Hag. And lots of credible outlets have suggested that Man United are planning to go into next season with Ten Hag, and there's been discussions between Ten Hag and Ineos about transfer targets and more ahead of next season. Now, going into the next story, I've called it Go Away Real Madrid. It was said that Real Madrid have a genuine interest in Jared Branthwaite and have an advantage in the tussle for a signature ahead of United. Now, it's gone from Give Me Sport, not a tier 1 source of information, but Real Madrid are looking at Branthwaite and Lenny Euro as their left centre-back and right centre-back future defensive partnership. And I have to say, Real Madrid, Bellingham, Mbappe, they might get Garnacho, they might get Branthwaite, they might get Euro. They're not going to get Garnacho this summer, I'd be shocked. They've got Mbappe coming in and Endrick coming in, but they like Garnacho. Real Madrid are building this super team. They really are. And I feel like with Lenny Euro, I'd love Ineos to make a statement and sign him. Jared Branthwaite's going to be difficult to do. I think we could get someone like Todibo or Bremer because they might be easier deals to do. I love Branthwaite. I love Euro. They're 2 players I absolutely love, but there's going to be mass competitions for those players. So who knows if you can actually get those sort of deals over the line. Now, going into the final story, I wanted to get into some comments by Maguire, and I thought he was spot on. He said, there's loads of people who probably don't think I should be in the England squad. There's millions of people that think I should be. I've overcome a lot, and I've got great belief in my ability. Say what you want about Maguire. There was times where, yeah, maybe he should have been dropped by England because he didn't play any minutes for United, like Henderson and Phillips. But Maguire, when he's played for United this season, has been good. Every time Maguire's put on an England shirt, he's performed. the one thing is, I will give Southgate is I understand why he picks Maguire, because every time he's put on an English shirt, he's performed, and when he's played for United this season, he has performed for the most part. But the thing I really wanted to get into, and the comment I really wanted to get into, was this from Maguire. He said we didn't really get control of the Liverpool game, so the manager told us just to be more aggressive. He put an attacker on and basically said, go man for man. I was up against the striker, fullbacks against the wingers, and man for man all over the pitch. And that's how they won the game. And I think Maguire's just revealed what Ten Hag's tactic was ahead of that Liverpool game in extra time. We're just going to be aggressive. We've got the extra attacker. We're going to go man for man at them. And Maguire had to deal with Darwin Núñez for 45 minutes, playing in a high line. Very difficult Darwin Núñez, and he kept him quiet for 40 minutes. And I have to say, would I sell Maguire this summer? Yes. Would I cash in Maguire this summer? Yes. When he's played this season, has he been good? Yes. Does he deserve to play for England? I think he does. I think that he's one of those players where, he's been crap for Man United in the past. And there was periods where he wasn't playing for United, and it was unfair that maybe Southgate was pulling him up. But I do think this season, particularly in that Liverpool game, he has stepped up to the occasion. And I like to give credit where credit is due. I like to be positive. Please do hit the likes. Please do subscribe. Thank you for watching today's video, and bye.